You make okay money, not rich, but okay. And yet at the end of every month, you look up and the money is just gone. You're not buying wild things. You can't even point to where it went. And every time you try to fix it, you open your phone, see 50 people yelling about 50 different things: crypto, budgets, side hustles, index funds, and you close the app more confused than when you opened it. The problem was never that you're bad with money. The problem is that nobody gave you the order. Everyone throws tips at you, but nobody tells you what to do first, second, third. So today, that's all we're doing. Not 50 tips, 5 steps in the exact order to do them from wherever you are right now. Follow them in sequence and the confusion goes away because you'll always know what the next move is. I'm Mr. Finance. Let's untangle it. First, the idea that makes all of this work. Most people who struggle with money aren't lazy. They're doing lots of things: a little saving here, throwing money at a debt there, buying a stock someone mentioned, all at once, all out of order. And doing the right things in the wrong order wastes almost as much energy as doing nothing. Here's a simple example. Imagine you carry debt on a credit card charging you a punishing interest rate, and at the same time, you're proudly trying to invest for big returns. You're pouring water into a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. The hole is costing you more than the investing is making you. Fix the order, plug the hole first, and suddenly the same effort actually fills the bucket. That's the whole philosophy. You don't need more willpower. You need a sequence. Here it is. Step 1 costs nothing and almost nobody does it. Actually see your money. Not a strict, miserable budget where you track every coffee forever. Just, for 1 month, know 2 numbers. How much comes in, how much goes out. That's it. Because right now, the money feels like it disappears, and things that feel invisible feel impossible to control. When people do this for the first time, they almost always find the same thing: a few quiet leaks they'd completely forgotten, subscriptions they don't use, small daily spends that add up to a shocking monthly number. You're not looking to feel guilty. You're looking for the truth because you can't steer money you refuse to look at. Do this for 30 days, and you've already done more than most people ever will. Now you know your real starting point, the gap between what comes in and what goes out. Everything else is built on that gap. Step 2, build a small emergency buffer. Not a huge one yet. A starter cushion. Something like $1,000 or whatever one unexpected mess would cost you. A car repair, a broken phone, a surprise bill. Why before anything else exciting? Because life will punch you. The car breaks, the tooth hurts, the job gets weird, and if you have no buffer, every one of those punches sends you straight back into debt, which drops you right back down the staircase you're trying to climb. The buffer isn't about the $1,000. It's about breaking the cycle where every small emergency becomes a new debt. This is the step that turns money from a source of constant low-level fear into something that feels, for the first time, a little bit stable. Get this cushion in place before you chase any bigger goal. Step 3. Destroy your high-interest debt. This mostly means credit cards and similar. The debt that charges brutal rates, the kind that grows faster than almost anything you could ever earn back. Here's the honest math that sets the order. A credit card can charge you around 20% a year. A sensible long-term investment might earn you something in the high single digits a year. So paying off that card is like earning a guaranteed 20%, a return almost no investment can promise. This is why debt comes before investing, not as punishment, because the numbers are simply better. Pick the highest rate debt, throw every extra dollar at it while paying the minimums on the rest, and when it's gone, roll that whole payment onto the next one. It builds momentum. Each debt you kill frees up more money to kill the next, faster. Clear this, and the hole in the bucket is finally plugged. Step 4, and this is where wealth quietly starts. Pay your future self automatically before you can spend it. The trick isn't discipline every single day. The trick is to set it up once so it happens on its own. Money moves from your paycheck into savings and investments the moment it arrives, automatically, so building wealth stops depending on you remembering or resisting temptation every month. And for most beginners, the boring answer is the right one: a low-cost index fund inside a retirement account. Instead of trying to pick the one winning company, which even professionals mostly fail at. An index fund buys a tiny slice of hundreds of companies at once. You're not betting on one horse. You're betting that the whole economy keeps grinding forward over decades, which historically it has. It's not thrilling. It just works. Automate even a small amount, let it compound for years, and time does the heavy lifting that hustle never could. Step 5. Once the first four are humming, widen the pipe. Grow your income, because there's a limit to how much you can cut. You can only trim expenses so far before there's nothing left to trim. But there's no ceiling on what you can earn. A raise, a better paying skill, a side income, anything that increases the money coming in makes every step below it easier at the same time. This is the step that separates slow progress from real momentum. The person who both controls their leaks and grows their income isn't fighting over a $5 coffee anymore. They've changed the size of the whole game. Learn something that pays more. Ask for what you're worth. It compounds just like investing does. Now, I can hear the question, but what about all the exciting stuff? Crypto? Picking hot stocks? The side hustle everyone's doing? Because that's what fills your feed, and it's probably why the whole thing felt so confusing in the first place. Here's the honest place for it. All of that exciting stuff lives above the 5 steps, never instead of them. You don't get to skip the safety net and the debt and jump straight to gambling on a coin, no matter how many people online got lucky. If your leaks are sealed, your buffer is built, your expensive debt is gone, and your future is being funded automatically, then if you want to take a small slice of money you could lose entirely and bet it on something exciting, fine. That's your play money. The key word is small, and the key phrase is money you can afford to lose. The mistake isn't being curious about crypto or stocks. The mistake is doing it while the bucket still has a hole in the bottom. Most of your money should be doing the boring, proven thing quietly in the background. A small amount can chase excitement if you insist. Get that ratio backwards. Most of your money in the exciting bets, and you're not investing anymore. You're just hoping. And hope is not a plan. Before you go, let me save you from the 3 slips that send beginners tumbling back down. Because knowing the steps isn't enough if you trip on these. Mistake 1. Waiting to start until you understand everything. You don't need to be an expert to take step 1. You need to look at 1 month of spending. People lose years waiting to feel ready. Ready comes from starting, not before it. Take the first small step this week, badly, rather than the perfect step never. Mistake 2. Copying someone who's on a different step than you. The person online flexing a risky bet might already have their buffer, their debt, their foundation handled, or they might be broke and faking it. Either way, their step 5 is not your step 1. Run your own staircase, in your own order. Comparison is how people skip the boring steps that actually matter. Mistake 3. Going too hard, too fast, and burning out. The person who swears off all fun, throws every dollar at their debt, and white-knuckles it for 3 weeks, almost always snaps and undoes it all. Slow and boring beats intense and abandoned. A plan you actually stick to for years beats a perfect plan you quit in a month. Sustainable wins. Every time. So that's the whole map. See your money. Build a small buffer, kill expensive debt, automate your future, then grow your income. Or not 50 tips shouting over each other, 5 steps, and you always know which one you're on. And the honest part, because this channel doesn't sell magic, none of this is fast. Nobody gets rich this month. But this is the actual path, the boring, proven one that quietly works while the get-rich-quick crowd blows up. Realistic timelines, real numbers, no shortcuts. Do these in order, and in a few years, you won't recognize your old money life. And notice what this really gives you. It's not just money, it's the end of that specific, exhausting feeling from the start. The one where the money vanishes and you don't know why, and every app makes it worse. Once you know your 5 steps and which one you're on, the noise stops being scary. Someone shouts about a hot coin, you know it lives above step 5 and you're on step 2, so it's not your problem yet. That calm, knowing the next move, is worth more than any single tip anyone will ever sell you. The confusion was never a math problem, it was an order problem, and now you have the order. So tell me in the comments, which step are you stuck on right now? 1 through 5. Tell me the number, and I'll know exactly what to make next. Start this week, not with all 5 steps, just with step 1. Open your banking app tonight and look at 1 month. That's it. That single, boring act puts you ahead of most people who will spend another year waiting to feel ready. The staircase doesn't care how fast you climb it. It only cares that you're on it. Take care of your money. It's not about being perfect. It's about knowing the next step.